please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lucy, will you call the roll, please?
Ginger Shank,
Here.
Deanna Wires. Here. Sarah James. Here. Frankie Schwartz.
Here.
Jeffrey Snyder.
Here.
Rich Barton.
Here.
Carolyn Sprague's here. We have a quorum.
Thanks. I don't know why that was difficult. Okay, I would entertain a motion to amend or adopt the agenda.
I move to amend the agenda, to move the consent agenda to follow new business.
There's been a motion to move the consent agenda to follow new business. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Rich. There's a motion and a second to move the consent agenda to follow new business. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you. I'll call your attention to the board norms. Everybody behave yourselves. How's that? And we have some recognitions.
Yes, we do. Always one of our favorite nights. And so tonight we're recognizing our individual athletes who medaled at state, our wrestlers. So congratulations to you guys. This is a high honor. We're very, very, very proud of all of you and all the work and time I put in to do this. It really is an amazing accomplishment. So congratulations. And so what we're going to do is call you up here. We've got a certificate for you. If you all would just stay here, and I'm going to get a picture of the parents if you want to come up, be fine. And Mr. Olson, you want to introduce them?
Sure.
Sure, we'll get you in that too, sir. I mean, very good.
There you go.
You
I'll
can
get a picture.
start whatever order you like, and I'll hand it to
Well,
them.
two of them showed up, so we'll start with
Let's
this
get
guy.
that. I'll be my favorite ones.
Well, they're definitely our favorite ones. All right, so tonight with us we have Josh and Jeremiah Cassing. They are been wrestling for us for 4 years, and this last year,
Shake your hand, sir. Congratulations.
Josh took 5th at the state tournament, and Jeremiah took 4th at the state tournament.
Where do you want? You come on up here. You good? Good. All right, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Mr. Olson. I know you weren't.
Thanks for representing.
I didn't prep you for that one. So.
That's all right.
I might be here later.
And
Well,
then-
Manny might show up later.
Okay.
Zayden, I think, is at a wrestling practice right now.
So-
And Jacob, I doubt you.
The wrestling practice.
So Zayden,
T-Son.
Tisan, I don't want to mess it up, came in 6th place.
Yep.
And Jacob Ruff took 3rd place, and Manny McCauley took 4th place. So we're
Correct.
proud of every single one of them. And I guess I'll give these to you because you can give them to them later,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I
Is
can
that
give them.
okay?
Yep.
All right, thanks for being here, you guys. Thank you.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't you both reach 100 wins this year? Because I know we made a big
Wow.
deal when Jacob did it that night, and I think you guys came right after that and did that as well. And I remember that next board meeting, I made a special comment about Jacob, because I was there that night watching that, and I watched you fellows too. I'm always impressed when I go to a wrestling meet, which I don't go very often, because I learned a long time ago when we first started, as Dr. Dishman said, he called it wrestling. And everybody came to me, because I was the varsity basketball coach at the time, and said, "Oh, it's going to kill your program." I said, "If I lose a kid to wrestling, it'll be okay. I promise you he'll need to be wrestling." And so I, Coach Gentili and all those guys back then, and you were wrestling in high school and those things, and I'd come to one of the matches, and Coach Frazier and those guys, and they would always let me sit on, I always wanted to sit on the sideline and act like I was coaching one. And they let me do it one time. I about died of a heart attack. 3 minutes of your heart pound. I don't even know if it's 2 or 3 minutes, but my heart pounded so hard. I learned right then that I was not a wrestling coach. But even that night when we were up there, you were there that night. And I mean, it was just so exciting the whole night, and all their teammates from the football program was there, and it was just a really, really, really special night. And I just wanted to make sure that I made that comment, that you guys also accomplished that amazing, amazing feat of 100 victories too in your high school career. So congratulations, And thank you for representing Lurton in the community and your teammates in such a high positive, and your family, great family. It's always been that way.
And don't forget the coaches.
Oh,
We,
We appreciate the coaches.
yeah, the coaches are tremendous, and they've
Yeah.
been great. And I'd like to personally thank Clayton Olson and the rest of the coaches that are not here, but
Yeah.
they've done a fantastic job. So
Yes.
hopefully we can keep them in Warrenton.
well, and that program is, it has continued to just get better and better and better and better. And it's not because, you know, the turnover and stuff like that. You guys, Clayton's invested a lot of time in this, and he knows that I appreciate that and respect that, and all the other coaches too. It's just an amazing program, and we really appreciate you guys.
When we recognize your athletes, that does reflect
Oh,
on
sure.
you. I hope you know that.
No,
we-
it's fine.
Okay.
I
I
want
hope
to
you
do
know
all
we
the work now.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Just yell at him and make him run.
All right, next.
Well, you guys are welcome to stay for the whole meeting if you want, if you'd like to leave too.
We
That's
don't
perfectly
have
fine.
to.
So it's up- So next, we're recognizing the Board of Education. This is Board of Education Appreciation Month, and we very much appreciate you because we know that it is a tough job that pays $0 a year. So thank you much for volunteering to your time to make tough decisions for our young people in Warren County R3. So we have some certificates. You want to hand them out, Lucy?
Yeah.
And then if we could just stand back here, I'll get a quick picture with everybody, and we'll get that sent out tonight.
Yeah, let's come over here, guys.
Okay.
Where are we going?
Okay, over there. Sounds good.
No, we said just the screen. Yes.
That is better.
Come over here,
This is good.
Or no, you stay on that side.
Yes, yeah.
Ginger, come over here.
Thank you, Lucy. All right, everybody ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, and sincerely thank you guys for all that you do. We very much appreciate it.
We do have one athlete coming, so we'll have to just wait till he gets here.
Of
Yeah, if
course.
you want, and then,
He'll be here in 2
And if,
minutes.
okay,
We'll
if he
interject.
comes, I'd be glad to give him that certificate. We could do another photo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course,
Right,
that's
yeah.
fine. Did you say he was at wrestling practice?
No, this is Manny. He forgot.
Oh. Well, maybe we'll just give him a hard time about it, but, okay, all right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Lucy, do
Coach.
we have any public comments?
We do not.
Okay. Then the next thing on the agenda, while we're waiting for Manny to get here, is superintendent reports, and we have a facilities update, so I bet that's.
yes, Mr. Chandler. Great thing about Mr. Chandler is he knows everything about the district. I mean, every carpet tile, every ceiling tile, and everything in between.
Every light switch, every.
And above and below all of those, he's on top of it. So we're really thankful for John
Everything
Chandler.
that's wired together, right, John?
Right. We're ready?
One of them.
Okay. Okay, the facilities department consists of maintenance, grounds, and custodial departments. Its purpose is to provide a clean, attractive, and maintained district for the students and staff to excel and be safe in. The maintenance department's proposed goals and action step is maintain procedures to ensure safety and security of the spaces. The replacement of roof 5A, 6, and 15 at the high school at a cost of $100,000. The removal of carpet in the high school cafe and replace it with the epoxy floor finish at a cost of $43,000.
John, do you need us to move forward, or are you?
Oh,
Okay,
didn't do anything.
okay, there you go.
Nope.
I think you have it down.
Down.
Go right, go right.
Oh, sorry, all right.
Go right.
This one, it's not going in. Oh, there you go. Well, hold on a minute.
Technical difficulties.
Reloading.
Okay, so my
Oh, wait,
question
hang on,
now.
All right, now she.
Now.
Okay, here we go. Let's try this one more time. The maintenance department, proposed goals and action steps. Maintain procedures to ensure safety and security of the spaces. It's not doing it.
Go
Hang
right,
on.
go right.
Hang it. My God. Good
Do you
grief.
want me to move it for you?
No. The replacement of roof 5A, 6, and 15 at the high school, this is a $100,000 project. The removal of carpet at the high school cafe and replaced with epoxy floor finish at a cost of $43,000. The replacement of Warrior Ridge shingle roof, this is a $300,000 project. The school district has a $100,000 credit for this from the insurance company for this. Safety film will be installed on all lower casement windows district-wide at a cost of $219,456. This is through a safety grant from Missouri. Continue to evaluate and implement measures that will help reduce energy consumption and reduce district costs. This will include monitoring and running trend logs for the HVAC controls, as well as adding LED lighting through the Ameren rebates. Replacement of water source heat pumps and the remaining console units at middle school A and B loop at a cost of $837,000. Sand and refinish the Warrior Ridge gym floor at a cost of $50,000. Replacement of selected exterior doors at the pool complex at a cost of $18,000 per set. Daniel Boone, Warrior Ridge, and Alpha Academy playground fencing installed at a cost of $51,975. This is a safety grant from the state of Missouri. Complete capital improvement projects on a schedule and within budget. Schedule preventive maintenance on all equipment. Complete and ensure all work orders are finished in a timely and efficient manner. Hire and maintain quality staff with specific job skills. Promote ongoing training aligned to industry standards. Provide additional training on equipment to better serve the district. Follow the preventive maintenance plan for district equipment and continue to update the 5-year project plan for upcoming large-scale projects. The custodial department proposed goals and action steps is to continue to provide training to new and current staff to ensure that we are following procedures and processes. Hire and maintain quality staff members. Continue to ensure that all new staff and current staff are maintaining and providing a safe and clean environment for the students, staff, and community. Rotate custodial equipment on a 5-year basis. The grounds department proposed goals and action step is to continue working on beautification of the district. Hire additional staff to help with grounds, field activity setups, salting during winter months. Rotate equipment used in salt applications to better serve the district needs. Gravel fence grounds area for the equipment to be on site. And maintain all fields, sprinkler systems, and retention ponds. To date, we've completed 1,339 work orders. On average, we do 1,117. The maintenance department works closely with several entities to ensure the facilities are safe. This includes proper inspections, repairs, and maintenance of district utility needs, as well as emergency repairs. There are as follows with Ameren Electric and Gas, the City of Warrenton and Sewer, Warrenton Police and Fire Departments. The maintenance department budgeted approximately $900,000 for summer improvement projects, such as door replacement, flooring, roof replacement, fencing, concrete, exterior painting, and asphalt repair. Completed areas is HVAC upgrades to the middle school, 6th grade area, which was $651,105. 3 roofs were replaced at the high school at a cost of $295,566. 4 sets of exterior doors were replaced at the district at a cost of $62,600. Middle school fieldhouse gym floor refinishing at $52,500. The food service building completion at a cost of $1,083,378. We also received air purifiers and filters for classrooms through a grant, saving the district $475,925.82. Individual custodial training is provided by the custodial supervisor. This enables everyone to be clean the proper way the school designates. That concludes it, so you may have any questions? Oh my God, what's this?
Slideshows were very
That's my friend's an old picture from last year. This is all old stuff. Everyone reads old stuff.
Looks
there
great
you go.
though, John, looks great.
Well, that kind of looks like the field house that matches it. So
Yeah,
there you go.
but
Now,
it's
let's back
not.
up a little bit. There's
Yeah, we
some
saw the
doors.
we saw the big doors.
Yeah.
You're right on that one.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
one was
think you
good.
fit in 2 presentations into one.
See, and I'd like to kind of merge it. It'll save me some time next year.
Yeah, there you go.
John, we appreciate what you do and how you keep things
For sure.
running.
Absolutely.
There's no way we could do it without you and your staff, that's for sure.
I got a good staff. I can't say enough about those guys. They work really hard. We were shorthanded for such a long time.
Yeah.
And now we finally have a full maintenance staff, we have a
That's
full
awesome.
custodial staff,
That's awesome.
which the custodial staff was shorthanded for almost 5 years.
Right.
And so I'm very happy with that. Hopefully we continue on keeping everybody going
Yeah.
and making everybody happy.
Well, I think that it changes the morale of the day when you know that you're in a clean, safe space, that things that are supposed to work, that they're working. So I'm really grateful for how prompt people are and fixing sometimes when disaster strikes.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your creative solutions to difficult problems.
Yes.
You help us out.
Gotta think on the feet out. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. All right, we're ready for the special education
Yes.
gifted program evaluation.
And we have Dr. Turner to walk us through what's going on in special education.
Okay, sorry. I only have 4 slides, and this is one of them, so hopefully I can navigate all of this. Thank you. Okay, good evening, board members and audience members. My name is Dr. Emily Turner. I am the Director of Special Services this year. I am so excited to share this presentation with you. You may know I served 3 years. I can pause.
Okay, you go ahead.
I served 3 years next door at Early Childhood, and I'm so excited to fill this role and share the great things that we've been doing. So we focused on kind of this fresh start mentality because we unfortunately had a big turnover in special education, including the special education office staff, but we really wanted to take that as an opportunity to build a system that we wanted to improve some things and streamline some things, so that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. So what we focused on was a year of rebirth for SPED staff and programs, a year of refreshing SPED systems that were in place, and a year of renewing SPED supports and partnerships and collaborations. So I'll focus first on the rebirth of SPED staff and programs. So as I said, we had some turnover. So the focus this year on all of these levels has been foundational. So we want to this year invest in our people and our time and our systems so that as we move forward and retain our SPED staff, we're able to build fidelity to those systems and just kind of make tweaks and improvements along the way, but make the big moves this year. So you'll see in this picture, some of the staff members are from the SPED office team because there are 7 of us in the office and 4 of us are new to the office. I really wanted us to take time at the beginning of the year to invest in building this team because this is the team that all the other teams come to ask the questions. So we took time to really set a vision for what we wanted our office to look like and all of our programs to look like, which then transferred into things like going to a MoCase conference. We were able to bring our entire team as well as Angel from Early Childhood and take a few days to continue to develop our systems and experience, and then carry that on into PD Monday experiences, which kind of goes into the next one. So one of the ways that we're refreshing SPED systems is through staff PD. So every PD Monday for about an hour and a half maybe or 2, we have all SPED teachers gather at Rebecca Boone. They were gracious enough to let us use their cafeteria every Monday afternoon. And we do anything from short kind of information sessions and then work sessions to we've had guest speakers come in from local agencies to be able to explain to our teachers what options there are for families in the community so that our teachers can inform our families. We also have done team builders, we've had work sessions, we have done, on the last slide, the lovely sweat band, we've done relay races on SPED topics, I mean any way that we can get the work going. We also have a monthly newsletter that goes out. Each member of the SPED office team contributes to that with topics that are specific to whatever is current. For example, the newsletter that just went out for March is talking about like summer school because we're getting ready for extended school year. So we try to make sure we have lots of touch points for all of our SPED staff, so they feel informed, connected, and have the information that they need. The last part that I'll share tonight is as far as renewing our SPED supports and partnerships. So we have worked really hard to connect our families with local resources because there are a lot of them. So we have, in one way or another, worked with these groups. Some of them, most of them, connect more with our high school SPED teachers and students because they are opportunities that are available for our students as they're finishing high school and getting ready to graduate. So all of these somehow connect with students at all ages. And I would say that there's even more that are not even up here that now, of course, I'm thinking of now that I'm looking at it. But we are so fortunate to have some great agencies. So for example, we have a person at Warren County Pathfinders who is kind of like our hub, our referral person, and then she kind of does a needs assessment with the families and then partners them with any one of these resources. So they've started joining our IEP meetings, started joining conversations through emails or phone calls or anything. So having them as a part of these conversations before these students graduate really helps to minimize gaps in time of services and supports so they're not graduating high school and then families are not really sure what happens after that. So all of this is meant to be working toward our goals. So as I said, we're laying a foundation. Next year and years forward, we're going to be looking at, because we have our systems in place, really looking at interventions for academics and behaviors so that we can address special education referrals and how those are coming into the special education office, having data inform our decisions both in SPED meetings and administrator meetings, and having more evidence-based conversations on if this is a problem, this is the evidence-based way that we can solve that problem, and kind of putting the pieces together in that, I guess you could say. So I could not be more proud of our SPED teachers, our SPED paras, our students, our families, our partners. Personally, I just have to throw a huge shout out to our SPED office team that has done an incredible job of onboarding half of us new and still pushing forward and meeting the needs of our kids and teachers and everyone else. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Sorry.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So I'm looking at your PDF, so you know what I'm referring to. So can you tell me what's the difference between language impairment and speech impairment? And the reason why I'm asking is because it shows our data of how we, as we compare to the state. And for language impairment, we have like over twice the occurrence in our district. And I don't know what language impairment is versus speech impairment.
That's a great question. So a speech impairment is going to be more articulation. So it's going to be how the sounds are being produced as a student is speaking to you. It's literally just the sounds that we're looking at. And so the state of Missouri has criteria very specific. By this age, this sound should be developed, and per their standards and indicators, special education services and supports don't come in until those are a year behind. So that's kind of the gist of speech. Language is more the communication piece. So you probably are able to understand what they're saying, but they're not able to really express themselves in a way that we're able to understand, either through limited vocabulary or just kind of unable to connect meaning with the words that they're expressing. And so that can range anywhere from it's impacting them in reading or like reading math word problems to our students in like our Rebecca Boone specialized programming for students with autism or language impairment. And there may be minimally verbal students who have a handful of words to express. So it can range anywhere, which is why the numbers are larger. But I will say the last part of what I said as far as addressing interventions and tier 1 instruction and things like that will hopefully address some of those numbers. We've had a number of students successfully graduate from their IEPs, and so they no longer need those because they're successful in the general education setting, not just for language impaired, for lots of things. Which means we're doing good things in all of our classrooms because they're successful in those settings. So.
Anyone else have a question?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we want to give that other certificate? Manny, you're late. Coach, you want to come back up?
They're gonna do a quick photo op to give you.
Come on up, man.
Yeah, come here, Manny.
He's
Come
just get up in front of everybody.
Come on up here.
I'm glad you came.
Want me to introduce him or anything?
Yeah, do the whole thing.
Did he lose his opportunity?
No.
This is Manny McCall, he's a junior for us, took fourth at state. He is actually currently probably less than 10 wins away from reaching that achievement of 100 wins. So
Wow.
he will get that very early in the next season. So he's going to be approaching those accolades just like these other guys did earlier in the season. So.
It's
All
awesome.
right, congratulations. Next up, we have Ms. Alfred for our at-risk student program evaluation. Ms. Alfred's our administrator over at the Alpha Academy. To the right.
Wait. All right, good evening, everyone, board members, members of the community, and I will make this brief. I have 10 slides, but I will make this brief, I promise. All right, Alpha Academy, the mission has stayed the same, to serve students in reaching the full potential in a non-traditional setting through a holistic approach. Our objectives are still the same: promoting career readiness, acquiring essential skills, and providing opportunities for academic achievement and high school completion while maintaining high expectation. Our programs, we still have the alternative to traditional slash credit recovery. We still have Missouri options, and we also house the positive alternative for student success program, which is the one for students who are long-term suspension. Also not mentioned here, Alpha also houses the Black Hawk Middle School program, focus program, that is in collaboration with Special Education Department. And this year, Alpha Academy also fully took over the Operation Backpack program. Our curriculum and course delivery, we follow the district's approved curriculum. This year, we've aggressively gone after transitioning to Canvas as our online tool. We're still using Edgenuity, but the plan is by next year that we'll be moving fully to Canvas. So our professional development have been focused on that. And no, I am not moving the slides. I'm sorry. Other wraparound services and activities for students. We still work with the ESCs. Our school resource officer, I'll say, was one of our friends, Compass. And this year, actually, we have gone into a soft partnership with Youth in Need for some of our students. And we'll continue to work on the social, emotional well-being of students through awareness and providing them with resources. Building school community, our partnership with the Elks as our patrons have continued. We do coursework activity, we've done recently actually coursework activities with the Gabi, so we're still maintaining that relationship with them, and I love it. And also outdoor classroom, special thanks to the Wise Foundation. Our friends at the St. Louis Extension Office have expanded our garden. It's now a 4-bed garden, and last year we did receive our 4-hectare charter. We still maintained our mental wellness day and all the career-focused activities like Next Step Expo, Explore field trips. Moving beyond, our goal is to continue in the work we're doing right now. Right now we are working, in addition to working on implementing Canvas full-time, we are working on becoming a PBIS school officially next year. Also, there was something else. Also this year, and also moving into the next year, for our curriculum, I missed that. We had implemented some teacher-taught classes so that students are not just in the mundane process of just being in front of the computer for 3 hours. We've taken time during the day to implement courses that are tied, that are elective courses. First quarter, we did the Intro to Agriculture and Gardening. Second quarter, we did Healthy Living. We're rounding up Art Foundations. And then next quarter, we're doing a Floriculture, Horticulture class. So, so far this year, one more thing. So far this year, we have 15 graduates. Right now, our enrollment is at 57, and that's it. Any questions?
Ayo, can you tell us, you mentioned the middle school focus.
Yes.
Do you have middle school students coming now to Alpha Academy, or can you explain
It's a
little?
very, very small program. We actually started with 3, we're down to 1,
Okay.
and now we're back to 2.
Okay, and those students who are involved in that, their attendance center is Alpha Academy only?
No,
Or
no. They, and it's individualized.
Okay,
One is Alpha Academy fully, and, they get to go back through their middle school and go home. Another one comes and stays till probably around 1. So it's very
It's
individualized. The
individualized.
whole goal is not to stay at Alpha. The whole
Okay.
goal is to come and slowly reintegrate back into their school.
okay, thank you. That helps me understand what the point is and how it's working. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I just want to add that last year, when you had us come to the graduation ceremony that Alpha does, it was probably one of my highlights of 2023. The room was full of exuberant joy, and what I saw was the joy of people in the audience. At regular graduation, I'm so far from the people in the audience, but there we were just like
Right there.
feet away from them, and you could see that it really was a win for them too, as they saw their graduate. And so I just wanted to share that truly was a highlight for me.
Thank you. I usually call that the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah.
The other most wonderful time.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
did have a quick question if you
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
mind. So on the PDF that you sent us, you had the current enrollment at 60 students, and then on pace to graduate or advance was 21. And then you had some not on track, but then there was still some left over, about like 22.
There's 22 in 11th grade.
That PDF has changed
Okay.
since the day I sent it. On pace, okay, that number is still the same. On pace to graduate, is that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 21 students right now. Not on track is 17 students, but I will be honest with you, that number might not be accurate anymore because we've been meeting aggressively with parents. In fact, I had one of those meetings today. I'm having 2 of them tomorrow, I think. We've been meeting with parents, and we've been coming up with interventions. Some are saying, okay, you know what, I'm not gonna make it this year, it's okay, I'll come back next year, I'll go to summer school, and some are changing their meal plan.
And the difference in the total enrollment, and that would be students who are on, like, in a junior status, and we wouldn't expect them to graduate this year anyway, correct? I think, is that what you were asking, Carolyn, like it doesn't add up?
No, it said on pace to graduate / advance to senior status. So I
Okay.
assumed
Okay,
that
yes.
the 21 was for.
Okay, that's, we also have some juniors that will come in and, because they've accumulated credits so quickly, they do get advanced to senior status. We saw that happening last year. Very few of that is happening this year, but we did see some happen last year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, financial update.
Yep, just our normal monthly financial update here. Okay, just kind of real quick, we'll go through this again. Where we are as of the end of the month. There we go. Okay, so operating revenues, a little bit behind from last year. Of course, we were off on our revenue projection last year by about 7%. So that is to be a little bit expected, but our revenues for local have just not come in as we thought. We're about $400,000 short of what we had projected at this point. So it's just not there yet. I do think we'll still see some of it through delinquent taxes, but right now it's still a little bit short of what we had projected. So that's why that number is a little bit lower. Expenses are pretty much the same. We're up slightly than we were last year, but not much. Fund balance though is up. So we're up at 55% compared to 50% compared to last year. And this will be our high water mark. So this again is showing our 3-year fund balances throughout the year. So the blue was a couple years ago, the green was last year, the kind of orange is this year. And so we're sitting at right at about 55% is where we are. And I project we'll probably end up close to where we were last year, around that 40% mark. So there's still a little ways to go, but we are sitting pretty healthy on our fund balances, and things are looking okay. Even though we are lower than anticipated in local revenue, we did see an increase in local revenue, and we are sitting in a pretty good position there. So nothing to worry about. So here we are, just the breakdown where the money comes from. Local, of course, we saw an increase in local taxes. Prop C dollars continue to be up due to inflation. County was up slightly. State money is up just a little bit as well, and federal, of course, is down because we're not receiving the COVID stimulus money like we had before. All in all, we are about $100,000 more this year than we were last year, so we're very, very close on the revenue total. So expenses, we are spending more money this year, about $1 million more at this point, and that's mainly salaries. We did give raises, benefits are up. We're down on purchase services a little bit, and our supplies are still trending on the little higher side. But overall, that's where things are. Capital 4, or Fund 4, this is to do our buildings and things. We have about $1.8 million in the bank as of today. So, or as of last week, whenever this is posted. And that's the finances.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll move to new business, since there is no old business. And the first item on that agenda is the communication tower rental agreements.
Yes, we have a communication tower south of town on Highway U that we use for our bus repeater. So this is used to have communication with our buses. In the board docs, you see we put this in place about 10 years ago. And because what would happen is our buses would go south and there was no communication to that bus. So parents would call and be like, hey, is my kid on this bus? And we would say, let's wait about 20 minutes and we'll tell you whenever this kid comes, that bus comes to the top of the hill. Really bad scenario. So we fixed that about 10 years ago and had an agreement, and the price was $10 to have it on there. Good deal, right? Well, inflation sure must have gone up, because now, what is it, 12,000?
Yeah.
What's the number on that?
$12,730.
Yeah, and I don't have
a year,
here.
and they want us to sign a 5-year agreement. Sorry, Greg, but this
Yep.
just really burns me. And they're gonna increase it about $400 each year during that agreement.
Yes.
During that period.
So I don't have great answers on why the price is up, other than their explanation to us was it just cost a lot more to run these towers. And I think before they were just doing it as a favor sort of thing, and now they're actually trying to just be a legitimate people working it and making sure they aren't losing money on this service. So our only other option is not pay it, and not have communication with our buses anymore, which would be bad, or pay it.
So I have 2 comments
Yeah.
to that remark. One is, I know that cell signal is better than it was 10 or 11 years ago in that part of the county. I know for a fact that it's better. Not great everywhere. I know there are holes where you
Right.
can't get a signal, but it's much improved. The other thing is, are we sure there's no other option?
The only other thing I saw down there is there's a water tower potentially that might be tall enough, but it took, the last time we got on a water tower here in Warren County, it took about 18 months to get a repeater on it.
But I noticed that this doesn't go into effect until October 1st.
Right, so we could,
So could we look for other options?
yeah, if we'd like to, and see what else we
I
can do.
reached out to Quiver River to see if they had anything
Oh,
that we
good.
could hook onto, and I have gotten a reply that they're gonna check that the person I contact is gonna check with the manager.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But if we could find something that's more reasonable,
Yeah,
just.
it really is for our bus radios. We've gotta have radio communication at all times. That's really, really critical.
And I totally agree that the communication is important,
Right.
but I just feel like, I guess it's just this sticker shock of going
I know,
from
same,
$10 to almost $13,000 a year.
Yep.
Seems,
Yeah, we can look to see,
excessive.
you know, in that area, I know there is a water tower, and it might be tall enough.
and there are other communication towers, aren't there? Like down Highway U and South.
Yeah, I just don't know our line of sight from one to the other, and
I
I'd have to do some
understand.
research into that, but we could look into that. It just has to be tall enough to see the other one, then be tall enough to get to the next one, and then have coverage all around. So you're looking for the tallest points in the county that cover those spots. So, yeah, we can look into that and bring it back, so we don't necessarily have to prove it tonight.
I mean, that's up to you all too. I just, that shook me when I saw the difference in cost, and I feel like we
I
need
mean, I
to.
feel like we have some time, we could look. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we'll come back to the same deal, but.
Sure, absolutely.
We could look.
And if anybody else has any ideas or any contacts or anything, please feel free to reach out too. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll-
because these
I'll
things
let you know if
they are
I-
very slow moving, getting on towers, getting on water towers. You know, like I know the last time I did this, back in 2014, it took 18 months to get on a water tower. But yeah, we can look.
What's everybody else gonna do?
I agree to look for options.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
I
we'll bring it back.
think we're in consensus on that, so if you please check into it, and I'll let you know if I hear anything back from my
Yeah.
contact.
I'm just looking through the contract here, there's a lot of stuff in it, so I was just curious if there was a date that we had to sign it by, or if there's a
October
deadline.
1st, I think, is what I saw.
Yeah, I
so-
think
So that's when it goes into effect, I just didn't know if there's a
Well, that's
deadline to
true.
sign it.
We may-
Yeah.
They may want it sooner.
I don't think there's a.
Okay.
But,
So as
I
long as we
don't-
have time.
I
No, I
don't
don't
think
think
it's
so.
tomorrow, though.
Yeah, I think
since
we
it
could
doesn't
do it a
go into
month and see what we can
effect.
find, and
Okay.
come back. I mean, that would be fine.
Thank you.
Well, if nothing else, we could sign a one-year contract until we can find something too, if it's an 18-month thing. And
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
because, and maybe that'll wake them up, say, listen, we're a school district that's pinching pennies.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy. Before, $10 a year, oh, wow,
Yeah.
yeah, it's great, thanks for
No
your
brainer.
help. But now I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And so this billing is going out to all people who have things on their towers. So
really.
could be it's just a whole new structure for them, I guess. I just don't have a good answer of why it's increased this
Right,
much.
that much. Okay, thanks for, let's see what we
Yeah.
can do. Maybe find something more affordable. Okay, so next thing is the staffing plan for this coming school year.
Yeah, so if we pull the staffing plan up here, there's a couple of just housekeeping things that we need to address. First is bless you there, Dr. Ross, is our bus drivers. It looks like we're reducing a lot of bus drivers in the plan. It looks like we're going from 56 to 45. Really what's happened here is we are just cleaning up what's in the system. We have 23 people that are bus drivers right now. We need 45, so that's why you see the bus on the side of the road of hiring bus drivers. And so if nobody wants to be a bus driver, we have plenty of spaces, but we had a lot of jobs that were not necessarily accurately, they're just in the system, so it's just a cleanup for that. And the same with bus monitors. So again, we're short on bus monitors a little bit, but not as bad as bus drivers, and that's just kind of a cleanup. The other big pieces in here you'll notice is all the ESSER funded positions. So these are the COVID federal stimulus dollars. They expire at the end of this year. And so we are rolling those into district funded positions at this point. So you'll see like a counselor there. And a lot of this, if you remember back, we were kind of our budget cutting time. And we were using this to kind of help us bridge the gap till we received the funding. And so that really helped us out a lot to continue on. So some additional things that we didn't have before were the interventionist positions. So we had, let's see if I get down to that here, make sure I'm saying it correctly. So we had the ESSER funded, we had 6 ESSER funded teacher positions total. And so then we moved that, we're moving those into the teacher position. So we had, there were at the middle school, high school, elementary, and Liquid Alpha, I think. So those positions all were combined. So this will all be now district funded. So the question is though, we want to continue to have supports at our elementary school. And one of the downsides of the staffing plan is the reduction of the Title I positions. Title I funding has been decreasing, and we just could no longer continue to fund that. So we have to go down 2 Title I positions. And at the same time, we have to go down 3 ESSER funded interventionists that were at the elementary schools, but will become district funded. So those 3 positions are still there, but we will be moving those to the middle school. And the reason for that is because of the growth formula on the way we're held accountable from the state. The state is putting more weight on improvement of middle school students than elementary. This is against my personal philosophy, but at the same time, we have to do better than we have been on growth and need to support the middle school. So just make sure the board's aware of that move there. So this also leaves us 3 additional teaching spots in the budget in case we have change in enrollment. So let's say kindergarten goes up, first grade, second, we need another teacher. We have it in the budget and just can fill those spots quickly. So we have 3 extra spots. And some of the other things that are rather exciting, I think, and has gained a tremendous amount of support from the students at least, is adding men's volleyball. And so when I've talked to the students, this has been something that's been really exciting with them. More so than I thought it would. So we have some additional coaching responsibilities added for men's volleyball, which is a spring sport. Sorry, gotta take a drink here. So men's volleyball is a spring sport, and so these are coaching positions for varsity, JV, and freshman level. Then we have also added coaching positions for girls stunt. So what that is also in the spring. So when you look at the coaching numbers, excuse me, it only goes up 2, but that's because we reduced, boy, I need to hold a lot more water.
Is that just for girls or guys can do it as well?
What,
Stunt.
stunt? I would think that'd be open to everybody, I think.
Yeah, you said girls stunt, so I was just checking.
Sorry, yeah,
Boys or girls.
yeah, yes, cheerleading. Excuse me, sorry. I'm getting over a cold, I really am doing okay. Okay, so.
You're convincing.
Yeah, I know, I'm selling that one, right? Selling that one. So because you see only 2 coaches go up, it's because we're reducing some coaches to add to the assistant activities director / head football coach position. And the reason for that is we would combine the head football coach stipend, the winter weight room stipend, and the spring weight room stipend, and the teaching position into one position. And so that becomes the position of activities director / head football coach. And the reason for this is to try to lift all activities, help our current activities director free up some time. And then because the football team has so many kids involved, we're almost 80 kids on the team, the workload for the head football coach has just increased to a point where they need a little time off during the day to do that. So during the football season, they'll have a couple hours off during the day, 2 or 3, probably 3. Sorry, boy. And then they will, from there, work with their football team, check their grades, do all those things that requires for the kids to do, for the coach to do. And then at the same time, support all the other activities that need to be supported during that time. So in the springtime, that will be the new sports, which would be men's volleyball and stunt, and then also do all the things like social media postings, work on in-game broadcasting, some of the things that are now expected of the football program, and really all of our activities that this position can help out with, and also help our current activities director elevate all activities to a higher level. Because we know that people here love our activities, we want them to be go very well and have the support that they need. And so to support them, we would have a head football coach that will have some time off during the day, but they will also pick up a few administrative duties as well. So that in general, I didn't get through that very well, but that is the staffing plan. So I'll be happy to take any questions.
Have we ever had 45 bus drivers?
No.
Is there a reason to keep it at 45 if it's like not believable that we'll ever have that?
Well, it is really just a hope. I hope we get them. And I want to have them in there in case we actually do.
Where's Dave?
Right. Like, we need them. And I don't want to not have the positions there if we actually would get it. But it is, you're exactly right that we could have 23 in the budget, but every time we need to add a bus driver, we'd have to come back to you to ask for another position.
I'm not imagining 23.
Right, right.
But 23 and 45
Sure.
it's a large
Right,
jump, and I mean, I'm all for us having a fully staffed.
right. Because we just kind of took the number that they told us they needed and put it in there. But we can adjust that if you'd like.
I don't have another number to suggest. It's just something that I didn't know if we had to have that number.
What would we do if we did reduce? I mean, would that affect anything else, or is that?
No, it just wouldn't be, we just wouldn't have the numbers in the budget. We're hoping we want to be fully staffed, we're doing everything we can to be fully staffed, and this is the number to be fully staffed. So we could not budget that, and then if we ever did get fully staffed, then we would, we'd change our budget.
Yeah, we would bring it to the board in the
Yeah.
fall and
Yeah.
rebudget. I'm just wondering if it would free up anything, or how much it would free. I
Well,
don't-
it'd free up money in the budget for sure, because those positions wouldn't be needed, per se, but they are needed, so that's kind of the hard, rock in the hard spot. It's like, just because we don't have the people, do you not budget it? And I think that's a debate often with, school districts of, how do you budget this? This is what we need, but this is what actually we have.
I get what you're saying, about reducing it for budget measures, but correct me if I'm wrong, aren't one of our CSIP goals to try to be at fully, staffed? And so,
Well, we'd be closer to fully staffed.
well,
Well, not really, because a fully staffed would be, we need 45 positions.
To be fully
To be fully staffed according to transportation. Now, we'd be fully staffed according to the budget, but not in real needs, yeah, yeah.
It feels like we're just setting a bunch of money aside to potentially another year
Sure.
not utilize it because it's not staffed.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's a fair point.
Because like we could do the same thing for counselors. Like we'd love to have this many even though I know we're at the numbers by the ratio that
Sure.
we're supposed to be, but let's set aside this money, but we can only hire 10 because that's how many apply, and then we still have all this money. You can do it for any position.
Yeah.
if we reduced it, what would you want to reduce it to?
I mean, 40 seems safe still, like, I mean, if we got 40 bus drivers, that'd be amazing. And again, we make budget amendments, we make staffing amendments later in the school year whenever the need arises.
Yeah, we could definitely, I would be fine with that. Dr. Ross, any concerns on your end on that?
Please, concerns, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other thing that really hasn't been brought up in regards to transportation is that it's its own unique beast in terms of the staffing plan. So like when you talk about a certain number of teachers, you're hiring them to teach a certain number of classes, like, and that's sort of a guaranteed thing. But with transportation, it gets a little tricky because some of those, like, those aren't just full-time routes. Like sometimes you'll have a student that qualifies for sped services transportation, and that will almost require its own bus sometimes. And so then we need a slot in order to create that job on the job list. So some of that is a little bit of leeway for those things, 'cause those things come and go. You know, every time Emily has a meeting, they change. And so, and so, some of that is a little bit of flexibility for that. That's the only other caveat to this. Now, again, it's not gonna be like 15 drivers, but like if you were to look at the current job list, that's why the number is what it is. You just see extended sped route, and it's vacant because that kiddo doesn't need it at this time.
I'm fine if we keep it this way and then maybe look at it in the future, since I'm the only one voicing concern. It's less concern, it's more curiosity.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, and it is a tricky thing on budget, that's why we reduced it ourselves, is we don't need all these positions in here, how many do we need? And so it's a debate we have internally, it's a very good, fair point.
For adding an assistant activities director and being able to build up our programs, I'm excited about that because I continue to see our school grow in activities, not just in athletics, but also in activities and in fine arts, and our programs are, the participation continues to grow. And so for a single director to be overseeing all of this, I think is a lot, and so I'm excited for there to be some more support, especially as we continue to just build up our community and build up those community relations, and social media is its own beast, and so being able to continue to put out positive stories about our kids and what they're accomplishing is exciting. Again, I'm just glad that there's going to be a position to support that.
I understand moving the interventionist positions to the middle school. I understand the concerns there, but I also hear you saying that wouldn't be your first choice, and it wouldn't
Oh.
be mine either.
No, not at all.
And so I think we need to really keep an eye then
Yeah.
on our elementary schools, because if we see them struggling more
Yeah.
because they have less support, we're gonna have to step up, even though we don't have the Title I funding.
Right.
We're gonna have to be willing to do something about that to address that.
I 100% agree, 100% agree. And if the state hadn't changed it, because we've been in this model for years and years and years, and I think it's been fairly successful for us, and, but the state has changed the way that they measure student achievement, and they put the focus on 4th, 5th, and 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And that's just how it is. We kind of have to get in line if we want to have successful APR scores.
Did I miss it, or did you talk about the ag teacher
Oh,
position?
no, I didn't. Thanks. Sorry, I did not. Thank you,
Okay.
yes. So, yes, ag. So, and the high school. We have 2 positions at the high school that we're adding. I just skipped over those. 2 really exciting opportunities at the high school. One is, one's for the middle school that impacts the high school. So let's talk about the middle school first, since we're just talking about that. So to get our PE minutes, we needed to add another teacher at the middle school to do a career education class, and then pick up an ag class. And so that would then allow our high school ag teacher to be at the high school full-time, which is great. And because of there's definitely a big demand in ag right now, and we could definitely use as much help as we can at the high school. So expand the ag program altogether. So by adding the middle school position impacts the high school position, which is a great thing. Then the other position that we're looking at adding is a position for dual credit courses. What we've seen expand drastically at the high school is the number of students taking dual enrollment courses. So essentially they're taking college courses while in high school online, and they're doing all that on their own, and they're doing it in the library or wherever. So we would like to give kids more support on that. But this has also become a burden on the counseling office to help navigate kids into different colleges. So this will help our counseling department by having someone who is the expert on dual enrollment courses and where kids can go. Ideally, in the future, we'd love to see a cohort of kids basically go through the same set of courses together, and then they walk out together with 30, 42 hours, and then it all transfers to the colleges they want to go to. So, and kids are all successful because they would have support from a staff member at the high school. And that same staff member, though, will help us with our registered apprenticeships for kids that are maybe not wanting to go to college, but wanting to go work. And so this person would then go and meet with businesses and set up those apprenticeships for students. And then those students go work, get paid, and learn a trade. So it kind of hits 2 birds with 1 stone a little bit with that, where we can help with dual enrollment and the trades, and give kids additional support in the high school. I'm very excited about those 2 opportunities there. And also expanding our ag program, which I think is a good thing.
And one reason that we want to leave both of the ag teachers at the high school full-time is that our numbers are up in the ag
Yes,
program.
numbers up, and there is definitely demand for that. So that'd be why we'd be making that move. And just to note, this year we did receive a grant for the ag funding from American Food Group, which we're very grateful for that grant. And so that's identified as a grant funded, but of course we plan on moving this to district funded next year. It's just we don't have to pay for it this year, so that's kind of nice.
Okay. And that answers the question I would add of knowing that the one ag teaching position has been basically grant funded for a couple of years.
Yes. Yeah.
As long as we're moving towards working that into the district funded position, I think is the right way to go.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Our finances are looking good, everything's looking strong, so it shouldn't be any issue to do that.
Perfect.
I'm thrilled about the point person for the dual enrollment in the apprenticeship. Like, I had someone ask me, how can I offer an apprenticeship or an internship to students? And I gave them like a list of names of people that I thought they should connect with, because there wasn't a single person. So I was like, maybe this person could help you, or this person. And so I'm excited because I do think that our community is full of business owners and
Yep.
people who have a lot of knowledge to give. And so I'm excited that there is going to be someone that can connect kids and connect those businesses.
Dr. Ross done a lot with all of that. Anything on the youth apprenticeships you want to touch on? Something?
No, our first wave, we're really gonna try to see if we can bring some of those into the school district. So there's three parties that get involved. There is the education agency, there's the employer, and then there's the student. And so if we can bring students into whether it's as an educator, paraprofessional type, registered youth apprenticeship, or even through our IT department, or even with our our mechanics over at the bus shed. These are things that students can go, Four Rivers and learn hands-on, and come here and then actually, earn at a sub rate with us, and apply that. And then at the same time, they're building hours towards a registered youth apprenticeship that gives them a credential when they go on. So that's phase one. What I'm hoping is I can get one. Like they say, start with one. So I'm still learning, but we want to build this so that we have a model that we can then take into the community. As you have to build the whole apprenticeship model. This is exactly what they'll learn, and it goes. It's either by competencies or by hours. So you have to build out the whole thing, and the Department of Labor helps a lot with that too. But you build it all out, it gets registered, and then at that point you can start putting students in. But some of the things that a lot of other districts do, there's a lot of really exciting opportunity. Like there are districts that they have made partnerships with their local carpenters union, and so the hours that the kiddos are learning or using to build during their apprenticeship in high school then applies to their apprenticeship and their job, and they're getting to a journeyman even faster. And so that's something that becomes extremely powerful. And so lots of exciting opportunities. Getting there.
I'd like to commend really our HR department. We think about managing 529 employees with really 2 people to manage all of those responsibilities in the HR side of things. Dr. Ross and his team do a great job over there with that.
Thank you, Toby.
Yeah, that's right. So,
Graham Ross takes a lot of credit for making sure. If I'm not on record saying that.
Smart man.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything they would like to ask about the staffing plan? I would entertain a motion at any point.
I move to approve the staffing plan as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve the staffing plan as presented. Is there any further discussion, or do we have any other questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Then staffing plan's approved. And we need to do the consent agenda at this point. So would someone like to make a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'll second.
Thank you, Carolyn. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Are there any questions on anything there or discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Consent agenda is approved. We have no policy first reads, correct?
Correct.
So we are down to miscellaneous, and the first thing is celebrations. Who wants to share something?
Reading is Fundamental Week is always fun, and I know several board members had the opportunity to read in several of the elementary classes, And I just had such a positive time each time. It's awesome to see. Really, I love the end when they're just like shooting up questions that kind of pertain to what I just read. Most of them are comments phrased as questions, but just being able to interact with them and just see the excitement for learning and reading that these students have. It's always incredible.
I would agree. I got to partake in that for the first time this year, and just a funny little story I read. I think the book was called "When You Take a Mouse to School," or "If You Would Take a Mouse to School." So of course I asked the kids if anybody brought a mouse to school ever. One kid's hand goes up and tells me this elaborate story about bringing a mouse to school, and it jumped out of the car and attacked somebody. And so it was quite the experience, but it was really cool to see their excitement about just what I probably took for granted was reading a 10-page book. So.
Yeah, one of my favorite comments from that was the teacher's classroom. She goes, "Yeah, they'll just keep talking if you let them." She's like, "So you can go." I was like, I love it though. It's awesome.
It was fun.
The ag contest teams are kind of in the middle of all of that, and they're doing well, I think. All the scores I've seen, it seems like they're coming along, so it's exciting to see. And I also, it made me think of this when you were up, Emily. I had the opportunity to go for, with the high school group that went on some tours recently with the pre-employment transition services person from MU. I got to go to Certainty with them. I didn't get to spend the whole day with them, but the kids were really interested, and they were paying attention, and they were asking good questions when we were in a place where you could hear anything and we didn't have our earplugs in. But it was cool that they got to do those things, and I know that they came here because one of their things got canceled, and Greg, you talked to him about employment with the school district.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I was like, always look for
awesome.
school. If anybody's looking for a job,
And
come
that
look
was,
for school.
right, but that was kind of spur of the moment,
Right.
and I know they appreciated you doing
That's
that,
right.
so.
We have
that was-
529 positions. We're trying to fill them all.
I got to attend Blackhawk Middle School's production of Siskel the Musical Junior, and man, there was so much talent on that stage. I'm not just saying that. I was blown away by the singing abilities, and I just wish that those types of programs would have been there when I was a student. So I'm thrilled for these kids that they get these opportunities, and it was well attended from not just the people, the families that had kids in there. There was tons of people there, and it was just wonderful to watch their production all come together, because they battled sickness and all sorts of stuff, but they pulled it all together. It's awesome.
Anybody else? Okay, thanks for all that. We don't plan to have a work session this month,
No, I
is
don't have
that
any
correct?
topics list. Anybody else has something?
Okay, and we need to set the next regular meeting. Wow, I need to get out of here because I can't talk anymore. The next regular meeting, so I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to set the next regular Board of Education meeting for April 11th, 2024.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to set the next regular Board of Education meeting for April 11th at 7 o'clock. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And motion passes, and then we need closed session.
I make a motion to set closed session to immediately precede the regular meeting on April 11th, 2024.
I'll second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded to set the next closed session to immediately precede the April 11th regular board meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And motion passes.
I'll make a
and
motion to adjourn.
We, don't forget, we have to elect officers.
Yeah, next month
And-
we'll have to reorganize.
Right, we have to reorganize, we have to, do we swear people back in when
Yes.
they're, yes. We have to have some people sworn back in. We don't have any challenges, but we have to have some people sworn back in. All right, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Rich.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jeff. Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Lucy, I will not be here next month.
You won't, okay.